He was also, by the way, in terms of discussing art, mine or his, I don't think I would ever discuss my art with him and ask him what did he think of it, and he would certainly never ask me. It didn't matter what anybody said. He was going to do what he was going to do, and that had to do with his, what I would call, he did not need affirmation from other people. That was not, you didn't need to keep telling him, oh, Richard, you're great. Nah, that wouldn't have meant anything, and he didn't seek it, he didn't want it, and he didn't need it. He absolutely, single-mindedly, sort of all by himself built his painted world. And I don't think he ever took anybody's advice. He gave it freely, by the way, when he taught painting over at the Middletown Fine Arts Center. I think some of his students were either converted or driven up the wall. But Richard George was kind of semi-famous over there. They knew right what was coming next.
Or infamous.
Infamous, yeah. Right what was coming next. But as for himself, he was quite self-assured. And I've really not known too many people that have so little interest in being reaffirmed by others.
Was there any affirmation in the sale?
Oh, he loved it. Oh, as a matter of fact, he once gave me a painting, and I said, "Oh, can I have that? I really love it." And he said yes, and within 2 months, somebody came along and really liked the painting, and he sold it to him. And he had no emotional attachment. Sales were what it was about. That was his profession. And sentimental attachments had no use for, he had no use for them. No, if he was going to be an artist and continue to make his way in the world as an artist, then you have to sell your paintings. He never did anything to make a sale. In other words, he would not paint a certain way if he thought it would sell a painting, no. But at the point was, it's finished, we run it up the flagpole and see who buys it, is what it is. And he was absolutely delighted. That was an affirmation that, number one, some people liked what he was doing, but number two, that was his job, that was his business. And in that sense, one can always think back to Rubens, who handled his studio as an extremely well-run business, sort of a GM of painting in some ways. But that also was his not needing to be reliant on.
How did he react at openings?
Oh, he liked those.
Yeah. He liked those?
That was one time I could get him dressed up. And Dick was built more like a football player than an artist. It always surprised people that Dick never played football in high school. He was a stagehand for the drama club, things like that. But he looked kind of like a football player. He had very broad shoulders, thick neck, you know, this kind of thing. And as he aged, he had a little goatee, a little beard. And at one point I said, okay, you need a really good suit. And we got him a really good suit. And in the end, his shirts were all custom made. Number one, you couldn't buy anything that had a neck and proportions. So he never required that many white shirts, so we did not break the bank. But what we had were custom made. And he'd get dressed up for an opening, and he looked sort of like Edward VII, and it was wonderful. I mean, he just absolutely was sort of glorious in a way, and he enjoyed that. And talk, oh, a mile a minute. You know, here I'm talking about a person who really was not dependent on other people for any kind of affirmation, but he enjoyed that. He wouldn't have done it on a daily basis, but no, he enjoyed teaching. He really liked teaching, especially art history. He read and read and read as far as art history is concerned. And he knew, aside from art history, a lot of history, period. Probably more than I did, especially in terms of 19th century. He knew English 19th century history, French 19th century history, way beyond just the art part kind of thing. And so, yeah, he was a great conversationalist.